Hi folks, my name is Pat Gage, and in this short video I'm going to show you how to create a LLC to invest in a real estate syndication. This will give you a step-by-step formation path to follow. You can either do this yourself or you can do this with an attorney, okay? All right, so let's get started. Thanks much. Now, first of all, we have a disclaimer in here that neither the sponsor, myself, or I, or anybody on this video, this is not considered legal advice. Please consult your attorney or tax advisor, somebody in legal capacity. You can do, as I said in the beginning, creation of an LLC yourself. Most times it's probably more prudent to have an attorney. What these videos are for education, but also so you understand the steps they're going through. And you can question the attorney. They typically do take in this and charge you $500-600, and actually they turn it over to their legal assistant to do. It can't be that hard, right? But anyway, first step is decide on which state you want to form your LLC in, right? Which state? Typically people do it in the state they live in. Now I know you've probably heard, if you follow real estate business or any kind of investing, you can follow it in Utah, you can do it in Delaware, all these different things, and that's good and great. Again, that's a tax question. That's a question for a financial advisor or somebody fiduciary to you. Okay. In step 2 here, name your limited liability company. Okay, what are you going to name it? What's the name going to be? ABC Limited LLC, WER Property Investment. And again, this really doesn't matter unless you're going for bank loans, and that's a topic of another video. But typically for syndication, you name it whatever you want to name it. I try to name it something like your kid's name or your name or something like that. And step 3. Decided how many people are going to be in your LLC. Again, this is a decision that you got to see. Okay, is it only going to be you only? Are you going to have you and your spouse, you and your partner or partners? My advice is not legal advice or anything, but again, I would have everybody who's going to be involved in an LLC on the paperwork, and I'll share with that what that is. Okay. Step 4, decide on which bank account to open up the account at, right? And then who is going to have signing capabilities on this? Because again, you're going to wire money from this account into a syndication, and they're going to wire back the proceeds or the quarterly distributions into this account. So you want to make it an account one. If you have to get funds out of it through paper check or withdrawals, that it's convenient, right? You want to be Bank of Hawaii and you live in New York, okay? And again, I do most of all my stuff online, but again, these are the premises and the permissions that you got to think ahead of time to do. And again, that's the reason for these videos, folks, is kind of getting you thinking ahead of time before you've got to get all this stuff done in 5 days because the funding is Friday. Okay, and that's what we're trying to do here, is give you step-by-step kind of instructions on how to do that. Now, step 5, deciding who's going to be the registered agent. When you form an LLC, a registered agent in definition, in business law, is a registered agent that is a business or individual designed or designated to receive service of process, meaning if you're getting sued, they're going to have a physical person to hand that to the person, to the entity during legal action. And a resident agent is typically your lawyer or your accountant or some kind of representation. Again, you can be your own resident agent, no problem. And again, these are questions for your advisors that you're going to use, but again, we want to understand who's going to do this. Now, setting up your LLC through the state, they're going to require you to have a registered agent to even sign up for the LLC. So you got to have this stuff ahead of time, okay? And then, choose, and like I said, many people choose their lawyer for this, okay? Step 6, okay? Decide an address for your LLC, right? Think about receiving mail from the syndication. if that's possible, or if that's going to, most syndications are done online. You're going to be doing all the work through the portal, the investment portal. But again, you may be getting bank statements from the bank. Make sure you have an address. And again, this is another one of those questions that you're going to have to answer, to find out who's going to do that. What legal address can you use? Step 7, prepare the operating agreement. Now, the operating agreement for the LLC is basically, it sets forth the fundamental terms of the LLC ownership. It's the operation of it, the management of who has signing agreements, who's invested what into the LLC. You put in $25,000 and your wife puts in $25,000, or your sons, like we just did with my son. My sons and I just invested in a passive, so we spell it all out. Right, even though we know, right, I want it spelled out in case something happens to me or something happens to them, that we can go on and continue on with that. And again, that's really what the operating agreement is if needs to be read by somebody who is not involved in it, so they understand how to execute the agreements within the LLC. Right, even if you're family members, I would strongly recommend doing this. I've heard so many horror stories as far as, yes, brothers did it back and forth, and let's say you do this LLC and 3 and 4 years go by, and all of a sudden somebody wants money out of the LLC and this and that. Well, it sets down that process of how to do that. Step 1, step 2, who has the signing rights, who can deposit money, who can take money out, all those kind of things. It's really kind of an instruction book. And you should definitely have it detailed as possible. Okay, step 8. Okay, create your LLC, right? Google your state. In most states, it's the Secretary of State. You Google that, or Google your state corporation, or like I did, Michigan corporation search, and you click on enter, and then that'll pull up, what it's here is Michigan is called LAURA, LAURA. And that's the corporations division. And again, just Google that. If you don't have that in your state, you can do that. And most of the time, you can do these formations online. But again, you have to have these things set before, in the earlier slides, who the name of the registered agent, the address you're going to use. Have all that stuff set up first before you get online and start pecking around and do that. And again, this is a business. This is an investment. So again, do the planning ahead of time so it's easier when comes time to do this. Okay, typically you hire an attorney to create an LLC, like I had said before. You can do that. You can obviously, without all means, if you're not savvy enough to do that, but again, know the steps, even if you're using an attorney, so you can double check them and make sure that they're doing it correctly, right? Or just say, hey, listen, I don't think it's going to take you $500 to do it. I can do it online in 20 minutes. Why is it taking you 3 days, right? Again, trust but verify. Okay, folks? Step 9. You'll receive once you register through the state, you'll receive your articles of organization from your state. There's an example of one right there from West Virginia, right? That's what comes back, and that's on the state level. Okay, so that's typical in any state. You'll get that coming back saying you're registered. Here's your corporation's number, and that's good. Save that in a location that you're going to need it. You're going to need that to take it to the bank. So once you have that and set that stuff up, and you have the articles of organization, step 10 here is to go and get a EIN, or an employer identification number. Now, this is where it differs from being yourself or being a corporation. Corporations have EINs, but being yourself, right? You now have created this business, this LLC, which in the eyes of the government is an entity, okay? So you're going to have an employer identification number, and that's what the EIN is. Now, you get this at IRS.GOV, and then you apply for an EIN. It's done online. You get the EIN back online during that online session. One caveat here, it has to be done during normal business hours. I think it's 7 a.m. to 8 p.m. Monday through Friday. You can apply right online, and they issue it right there. So again, planning. Have all this information ahead of time, your addresses and all that kind of stuff. You'll have to answer those questions, and I believe I've done a video about that and what's all involved in that. But do that and get it going, then you'll get an EIN back from the federal government. Okay, so now next step is go and open an account. Right, take your state documents. Take a copy of your state documents, take a copy of your EIN for from the IRS. The bank is going to need both of those to open up your account. Okay, and again, you're opening up an LLC or a business account. You're not opening up a personal account. Don't have them put it underneath your name. That's why you bring the state documents. That's why you bring the IRS documents, because again, you're going to use this EIN as the identifier for that account. Okay. Now, step 12, you get all that set up, figure all that out, fund your account, right? Put the money that you're going to transfer over to the real estate syndication into that bank account, and you're ready to go. So when you get the funding instructions from the syndication, you can transfer them from that account over to the syndication. And one thing I'd like to tell you here, here's the wiring instructions part. I'm filming this during the pandemic, okay, almost the start of the second year of the pandemic. Plan, and allow more time than you think is needed to do this, okay? I just went through this setting up another LLC with some partners here in the last couple of weeks, and things took a lot longer than you expected, okay? Completely forgot an example here, completely forgot that I just can't walk into my local branch anymore. I have to now make an appointment. So I have to call ahead. It's just simple things like this, folks. But again, that adds stress, and that's the reason for these videos, is to get you a step-by-step what you're going to have to do this. And again, there's a little bit of work to it, but again, the rewards on the other end are huge. So you want to take the correct steps. You want to make sure that you're doing the correct steps. So you'll get in step 13 here, wiring instructions from the real estate syndication. That's usually typically done through the investing portal software. They'll send an email or a message out saying, yep, funding's open. They typically give you a certain window of time for that to happen. Again, make sure you jump right on that, because again, lessons learned here. We just invested in a past investment here in the last couple weeks, and their software had a little glitch, right? So now, yes, we made sure we were in, and then the syndicators made sure that we knew that. But again, it just had a little bit of a glitch in the software where it didn't show us going in. So again, have more time available than you need. Okay. Now, 14, you just enjoy the returns, right? You enjoy the returns, make sure that you have all your bank accounts set up, having your addresses correct, having your bank account set up, and just enjoy the returns back into that LLC bank account. Again, most syndications will wire distributions to you. I don't know how much. I don't know if any are doing paper checks, because again, there is a cost to that. So that's why you have to set up an LLC. That's why you have to have a bank account in the LLC's name for that reason. Again, it's quicker too, folks. It's a lot quicker to get a wire into your account and have the money available now instead of waiting for a paper check. Okay. Well, listen, I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you've enjoyed these videos that I'm creating. If you want to get in touch with us and you want to sit down and talk about your investing possibilities, by all means, please schedule a call. The Calendly link is above my head, and it's also in the description of the video here. We'd love to talk to you. This is the first step in us working together, talking to you and getting to know you, asking you some questions, you asking us some questions, and see if this is a good fit. If this has been an intriguing call or video and all the other videos, call us. Let us know. Schedule an appointment. We'll talk to you and get going. And again, we invest with people we know, like, and trust, and that's the purpose for these videos, is so you can see how we do things. So if it's open to you, and if you're open to it, schedule a call, okay? Love to see it. But before I go, I'd like to also offer you a free special gift, okay? I know real estate is maybe new for some people, or you're thinking about it. I want to give you a free special report that we've created. and it's entitled "What's the Best Investment, Stock Market or Real Estate?" I'll leave the answer up to you. Okay, but please go to our website at opportunitycreator.com right there, and then homepage. Scroll down to the bottom there, and just put your email in. We'll put you on the list for the newsletter. We do not bombard you with emails. We just do typically a monthly or bi-monthly newsletter, and then also when you schedule that call as well, you'll get invitations for opportunities that we have coming up to invest with us. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate your time and energy, and thank you very much for staying around and watching this video. Look forward to hearing from you, and please schedule a call, and we'll talk to you soon.